If you know anything about me, you know that my favorite animal always has been and always will be a llama. And guess what? We got a llama!
Howdy, and welcome to the Bar SC Ranch, where you will experience our journey of running a family business, caring for animals, and doing life together. Subscribe now and be inspired here at the Bar SC.
Franklin here, who's our newest member of the ranch, and if you haven't noticed or you're not familiar with them, he's a llama, which is like my favorite thing absolutely ever. I've wanted a llama for so many years. They've been my favorite animal forever and ever, and Tim made that happen because he's absolutely awesome. Tim and Michelle, the whole dream team really did. Found a llama. Well, thank you. Please don't lick me in the face. Brought him home, and now we're here learning a little bit more about llama training, because apparently that's a little different than some of the other animals we work with. But for the most part, we're treating him like a horse, and we're going to show you what that looks like and what we're teaching him, and a little more about llamas. Okay, so we're here in our indoor arena, which is nice and shady. It's not too warm today, but shade's always nice. And this is where we do a lot of our pony rides with kids, or we do a lot of horse training, things like that. We've got a crazy assortment of items, hi bud, of items set up in here. And so this is a good place to take Franklin to start building a little bit of trust between he and I, in that he's a little nervous around some of these items. They're big, they're bright, they're weird looking. And starting to show him that being around them and that trusting me when I say it's not dangerous is not a bad thing. So we're going to take him around and just walk him around some of the things, pick up some rings, walk over a couple of poles. And as you can see, just being out here, he's a little bit like, whoa, I'm overstimulated, there's a lot going on. And so with time and with taking him out here, he'll start to go, well, as long as you say it's okay, it's probably fine. He'll be a little more used to the area out here. And then maybe someday, where are you going? You can't just leave. Someday we'll be able to do like a little bit of llama agility. We're going to start training for that. So I've put one of our normally upright poles down on the ground because yesterday when he and I came in here, and that was our first time coming in here, one of them was down on the ground just because it had been blown over or something, and he looked at it and said, that's going to eat me. And so we spent our day yesterday working on having him follow me across one of them. And he did very well, so we're going to test today. I haven't walked over one at all today. Don't get too close to my face, buddy, right? We're working on personal space. Personal space is important. And so we're going to see how he's doing today, knowing that he did very well yesterday by the end of today. See how quickly he learns, and if today he goes, oh, I saw that yesterday. Or if we need a little bit of a refresher, because learning the way that he learns is what we're doing here also, because we don't have a lot of llama experience just yet. So we're kind of using him as a little bit of a test case. All right, Franklin, let's walk across our pole, because our pole was very scary yesterday. I'm going to step over. Today it's not even kind of scary, apparently, which is good. That means he learns really, really fast. No circles. No circles. We're still working on the circling. There we go. He really likes to walk in circles. But just knowing that, hey, yesterday we worked on something and we got over it, we accomplished something. No, you can't also just leave randomly. That the next day I can expect that he most likely will be a little bit more chill about it. So we're going to start, continue testing that theory with some new things. Let's go move some rings around and some poles around. Let's see if we can weave in and out of some poles and see how he's doing with some other objects. So llamas are really new to us here at the ranch. We've not had a llama before, so I've wanted a llama my entire life. So I've been doing a lot of research for many years about llamas and what they eat and their digestion and just a little bit about their behavior. Nothing can, compare to actual hands-on experience, so we're still definitely learning a lot now that he's actually here. But llamas are members of the camelid family, which means they're similar to alpacas, which of course they're kind of hard to tell apart for some people if you're not used to either or. Llamas are bigger than alpacas. That's one good way of telling them apart. And llamas have banana-shaped ears, so they have long and slightly curved to the inside ears, like Franklin here does, whereas alpacas have ears that look just like horses, but shorter. So just little tiny triangle ears. You just really like my fingers, don't you, bud? Llamas are actually a lot bigger. They're about 4 times the size of alpacas, so he is a pretty decent size for a llama, but alpacas would be little guys, like their head would be up here, and their body would be much lower, much smaller. Typical alpaca, 200 or so pounds max. Llama can be like 450. So there's a big difference in size there. Another member of the camelid family is, of course, the camel. A little bit more different than llamas and alpacas. Those two tend to be pretty similar. Camel maybe is a little bit out there, but all part of the same family of animals. Llamas are normally used as pack animals. They can also be used as guard animals, so just like Faith, our dog, who can be used to guard sheep and goats, llamas can be used for the same thing. Franklin here will need to be castrated before we would put him out with any of our sheep or goats, and that's just for the safety of everybody involved. Get a little bit of the testosterone out of the mix, and that way you don't have any kind of an issue where your llama is looking to pick a fight with one of your sheep or goats that they're supposed to be protecting. But that just tells you they'll, as guardian animals, they're very ferocious. They can definitely fight, with the best of them off some of the predators. I know, you can just sit here and stare at me too. That's also cool. But then also be very docile and be pack animals for some people who maybe have gone up into the mountains to go hunting and they're looking to pack out a deer or elk, or people who are on just pack trips and they're wanting to, carry some of their stuff along with them without having to, backpack it themselves. And Franklin is not ready for either one of those jobs yet. He's still got a little bit of training to do. I mean, right now he could be a guard. If we removed his testicles, he'd be a great guard llama. He needs to be introduced to our goats and sheep, and we would need to watch him and see that he's actually interested in guarding them first, because if he's just like, yo, my friends, something can eat you, it's fine, then he's not a great guard llama. And then with the packing, we would want to, and I believe the people that we bought him from said that they had put a pack on him before, but that he really hadn't been fully pack trained or anything like that. So we would just start over from the beginning if we were going to pursue that line of training with him, and make sure he's used to the pack, make sure he's used to, following a string of horses, make sure he's used to anything that he might encounter on the trail so that he's comfortable and he's a great pack animal for whomever is taking him with them. What I think that we're most likely going to do with him, because I'm very interested in it, and he is my llama, is like llama agility. I looked it up on the internet, and there's some like obstacle courses people go to with their llamas, much like kind of the situation we have going on in here. This would be our baby steps. But then they get to a point of like leading them over like jumps and leading them through like pool noodle obstacles. And it's all about how well behaved your llama is. 1, you gotta stop circling me, Franklin. And 2, that they willingly will cross things for you and go around things that maybe would be scary to them. And that just shows that, you've spent the time to gain their trust and train them and teach them how to be a willing participant in these obstacle courses. So I think that's what we're looking to do in the future, and hopefully you'll be able to check back in with us. We're gonna make another video, Franklin, when we figure our nonsense out and look a little bit more professional, a little bit more like we know what we're doing. And we might be able to put together a video for you guys about the obstacle courses that we're doing and Franklin's progress on, crossing some of these scarier sort of things. Maybe we'll go cross some water and some things like that and just build up that relationship with Franklin and I. Oh, I know, you see, jump when I pet him. Still working on that. This is much better than day one. Day one, he was like, I'm not letting you touch me because you're new and you're scary. And now if anything, I need to get him to stop touching me. So, baby steps, baby steps. So something that I've also been doing, you know, again, going back to my roots is horse training. I don't have roots in llama training, but horse training is working on desensitizing with him, which is basically what we're doing just to the environment out here, is getting him used to it, showing him that it's not a scary place to be, and that he can be out here without wigging out. She's already come down quite a bit from the moment we stepped foot out here. He's now standing still and just looking around calmly, which we love. But we can also desensitize him to our rope, just like we would with a horse, is knowing that he's not afraid of our tools and that he's not afraid of us. And so with my rope, the way that I would do that with a horse, and what I'm going to do with him as well, even though who knows if there's different tricks for a llama, we're going to treat him like a horse, is I would stand about at his shoulder and I take my rope in my right hand, since I'm on his left side, and I'm just going to toss this up over his back. And you can see that he's like, oh my gosh, clearly it's not hurting him. But he's just not sure about having something kind of tossed at him. So if he circles me, and again, circling is his thing, I'm just going to keep at it until he stands still, and maybe if he gives me a little less flinching. That one wasn't bad, so I'm going to release, stop doing it for a few seconds, and let him know, hey, you stood still. It's okay, that's not the end of the world. And then once I've given him a few seconds of release, I'm going to toss it back over him again. And you see that he's a little flinchy. It's not smacking him hard at all, especially not with all of the wool on him. It's very gently tapping against him. But he's just unsure about it. He's unsure about, one, my hand coming at him like this, and two, the feel of the rope up over his back. So this is something that I'm going to be doing with him for as long as it takes, until he's no longer even slightly concerned. Oh, and that was a really good one. You notice he didn't flinch. Until he's not concerned at all about my rope coming up over him, and then eventually we're going to move to putting, you know, my hands all over his body and him not being afraid of that either. Because right now, we're pretty good about this area. Moving down his back is okay, but we haven't started yet handling his legs. And so this is going to be the first step to that, is just desensitizing him to a bunch of different things at a more distanced sort of way, where he can't, where you going, buddy? Where he can't actually, I mean, he could, in theory, hurt me. But as I'm doing this, just tossing this up over his back, it's a very safe way for me to begin the desensitizing process. If I just went straight to trying to desensitize down around his legs, I'd be putting myself at risk of getting kicked. So I'm going to start here, and we're going to wait till he stands still. And then once he's really good at this, and he and I are a little more comfortable around each other, eventually we'd like to move to, just like a horse, being able to handle his legs and being able to pick up his legs. Because we might need to trim, you'll notice his toes. They have toes kind of like a cow, cloven-hoofed animals, that we need to trim them right now. They're just a little long. They're not bad, but we want to know that I can trim those without having to create a super stressful environment where I've now, you know, done something like tied him to the fence and, you know, a way of trying to hold him down so that I can do his feet. I'd much rather start now and start slowly and make it so when it is time to trim his feet, I can do so really calmly and have him have a really good experience while I do that. So we start with this kind of desensitizing and work our way up into, you know, some maintenance sort of issues that we might deal with a llama. Thanks for watching. Keep checking in on our channel for hopefully some more future videos surrounding Franklin and our future in obstacle and agility courses. Thank you!
If you enjoy this video, we'd love to hear from you. Like and subscribe and leave a comment about what you might like to see in future videos. We'll see ya back on the ranch.